is what we'll see in a brief moment. And that is this presentation is provided courtesy of Dr. Frumkin at the CDC in Atlanta. And the title of it is Childhood Obesity and the Environment. And as the listener, I want y'all to consider what is this link between a growing trend of overweight children along with where they live, the environment that we're creating in the cities that we live. Is there any way to make it a little darker?
It'll come a little.
Okay, there you go. Okay. I'm sorry. Give me one moment to. Oh, I need to point it over here, don't I?
No, you can. It's just you scroll up, mouse up.
Oh, thank you. There we go. Okay, so our case study is Baltimore. And in this case study, there's 92 children that are born today. And of those 92 babies that are born, we're going to track what we can expect in their lives. What these 92 children have in store is shocking. In their childhood alone, 18 will be obese. In addition, they'll suffer other ailments, including 10 will have asthma, and 8 will have attention deficit disorder. It gets worse. In adulthood, 60 will be considered overweight. Of these 60, 30 will be obese. 35 will have high blood pressure. 9 will suffer from depression each year. 21 over their lifetime. 24 will develop arthritis, and 9 will have diabetes. So, is this a new trend? Indeed it is. 40 years ago, in the 60s and early 70s, the prevalence of overweight children was limited to 4% of all children. It is skyrocketing today, and as of 2002, it was up to 16%. It's even higher now. So why is this important? Well, it affects their whole lives and ultimately how healthy they live. And as a result, we can see the causes of death that we can expect. Of those 92 children, 33 will die of a heart attack. 33 will die of cancer. 9 will die of a stroke. 6 will die of chronic lung disease. 6 will die of injury. 3 will die of diabetes. The takeaway from this is paramount, and that is these children will not be dying of natural causes. So, from this point moving forward, the presentation will now be about the environment and how they're linked together. Let's ask ourselves the question, what do children need, and perhaps what are they not getting enough of? Well, what they need essentially is a safe, secure environment that's clean and healthy, in which they can have fun and play. And in doing so, they will make friends, they'll foster a sense of community, as you spoke about earlier, Debbie, and ultimately grow as individuals. This is a recent cover story from Newsweek, illustrating the fact that 6 million kids are overweight. So, here's the question. Why has this problem come about? Here's the question for you guys. Do you think it's because we're eating too much? Or do you think it's because we're not exercising enough? What do y'all think?
Both.
Well, I tend to agree with you, but the next graph is rather surprising. On both, you'll see the black line that shows the skyrocketing percentage of obese children. On the left, however, it shows what we're eating. Since the 60s, we've learned a lot about nutrition, and we are eating healthier than we previously were. I still tend to believe that y'all are correct. There might be some supersizing going on, but ultimately it looks like there's a greater link between how much exercise we're getting, as in the right graph, it shows the amount of time we're spending in cars and watching TV parallels the skyrocketing cases of obesity. This may not be a fully representative picture, but it does illustrate to some extent that children are watching a lot more TV today. So, the question is, what does the built environment have to do with physical activity? And what is the built environment anyway? This is where we live. Most of us live in suburban America. Some people call it the soccer mom nation. So, if you're a kid, what does this have to do with being overweight and where you grow up? Well, this is a new trend in how cities are built that began after the Second World War. And in this suburban world, cities are built with cul-de-sacs. And the problem lies in the fact that people who live on a cul-de-sac have to drive very long distances to get anywhere. No longer do kids have the ability to walk to school, to walk to their friend's house, to ride their bike to a convenience store and buy some milk for mom. No longer can they ride their bike or walk to soccer practice. And hence, the birth of this euphemism, soccer mom. The soccer mom is the mother. It can be either parent, but the one who is ultimately responsible for shuttling their kids from activity to activity. And in these low-density developments, people are continuing to live further and further apart from where they go. This is an example of a lower-density suburban cul-de-sac. And what you see here is a busy street at the entrance. From a traffic standpoint, it's not a grid-like system. There's not multiple ways of getting to and from each area, but instead one main street that often gets congested during high volume hours for traffic. Another problem is, as a child growing up in this cul-de-sac, you don't have the ability to walk anywhere because that street is too busy for you to cross it. There's no way your parents are going to let you get out of it. So what's happened? As a result, in a suburban community, more trips are being made per day per household because no longer can you combine trips at multiple times. And at the same time, there's a lot less walking and biking being done. So it's a double whammy in terms of how much more time we're spending in cars. And the more we rely on cars, the more we have to come up with super engineered structures like this to get us to where we need to be. But the city planning euphemism stands that the more lanes you build, actually the worse traffic gets. And so there is a link between these two phenomenons that are happening simultaneously. And I conclude with a cartoon that illustrates our case study of Baltimore in the year 2025, in which no longer is there need for parks and green space, much less sidewalks. Rather, the city becomes one big beltway. Let's see if I can get this pointer, but you can see up here, there's newly widened 1,472 lanes. Down here, Mommy, are we going to be home? I think we spend 60 hours a week in our car. This is our home. I like this one over here, Los Angeles Beltway. It's 23 miles away. We don't know what that is. So, in a future speech, I'm going to delve into city planning, and perhaps how we can affect and grow moving forward to develop more healthy environments for both our children to grow up in, but ultimately ourselves as well. Thank you.